and welcome to today's vlog. Today I'm going to be talking to you about brickborrow.com.
She likes oversharing with outfits and swearing, admiring her tats while she plays with all her cats. Her disability gives her superpower, agility to holiday and live the right way. Estelosaurus.
Brickborrow.com is like a Lego lending library service, I guess. There are different sort of levels and prices that you pay each month, which depends on sort of how much access you get, and I'll go through all that later. But first of all, I will show you what we got in this box. The idea is you get the Lego, you build the Lego, you send the Lego back when you're ready to send it back. You can keep it for as long as you want because you're paying sort of a monthly fee. But you need to open all the packaging really carefully because this is what you're going to send it back in. So I'll pop the bag to one side because we'll need that when we send it back. Here's the box, and then we cut it open. She says, don't worry too much about this tape because you're going to reseal it. But yeah, this is basically the box. It's a little bit battered because, you know, they recycle, they reuse, which is, I'm fine with that, that's great. So this is what is inside the box. We'll turn that over because it's got our address on. So in the address, you get your, in the box, you get your returns label, you get the instructions to the set that you've requested, and then you get some tape to reseal the box to send it back. And then there are a couple of like sort of instruction guides. There's an instruction guide to sell it, telling you how to send it back. There's a little bit of information about it. There is this little card which says, please keep me inside the box. You send this back in the box so that they know who borrowed it and what the set was when it goes back. And then you get your Lego for the set you've chosen in a bag. So obviously it doesn't come in any of the original boxes. It's been used before, it's been built and rebuilt, but yeah, that's the basic premise. So this is the website, brickborrow.com. There's a little explanation of how it works. You choose your set, they post it to your door, you build the Lego, you don't play with it, and then you swap it for the next set. Fantastic, brilliant idea. There are a couple of levels of pricing. So the basic one is $14.99. That's what we've got. You can borrow one set a month for as long as you like. There's a mystery set, which is a little bit cheaper. You don't know what you're getting. The master, which entitles you to a couple more sets a year. And then the builder, which entitles you to a 1-year subscription, which would make an ideal birthday or Christmas present, I think. So once you've signed up and selected your level of membership, you can then browse the sets available to borrow. So here's an idea of some of the sets. There are loads of them. You will notice that it says some of them are being borrowed, and you will notice that it says borrow after 3 months on some of them. Some of the bigger sets you have to have been subscribed for at least 3 months to be able to borrow them. And obviously if a set is already being borrowed, you cannot borrow it. So here's just a little look at some of the different sets there are. There's all sorts of themes, all sorts of different sets. There's modulars, there's Harry Potter, there's Star Wars, there's Disney. There really is something for everyone, including more technical build and easier build. There's loads and loads to choose from, including some of the really new sets. So you will notice that if some of them are already being borrowed, you can set up a notification to tell you when it's available again, so that as soon as it comes back, you can borrow it. Yeah, it's really easy to navigate, it's really easy to pick your Lego, and it arrives within a couple of days. Definitely go and check out their website for more information. I will leave the link below. So I'm going to build this set, show you what it looks like. The set we have chosen this time is this Lego 3-in-1 creator set. So it is basically, this is the biggest set you build. It's the like Lego Tropical Aquarium, and then as it's a 3-in-1 you can build some other like different sets if you want. So there's this like treasure chest set, and this like artist's easel set, but I kind of don't like those. I'm going to build the aquarium because I think that's fun. So yeah, I will build this later. I will show you what it looks like when it's built, and then I'll tell you all about Brick Borrow and how fabulous it is. So here's the build. Like I said, I'm going to do the tropical aquarium bit. Cats are watching on in the background. I've emptied everything into a bowl because I thought that was better than popping it on the table or trying to fish it all out of the bag. And yeah, I got to work building. The instructions, you know, with Lego, easy to follow. Oh, here's Taco coming to help. And here's Nix. No. Oh, Nix. Thank you. Overall, it's a nice build. If you've ever watched any of my Lego videos before, and I'll link them below, I do have a little trouble following instructions sometimes, and I tend to get things muddled up and the wrong way round. But this was fairly straightforward, if a little fiddly, and here's a bit of ASMR for you. I then accidentally caught Taco pouncing on his sister, and I thought I'd leave that in because it's funny. Look at his little bum wiggle. I then discovered that there was a single piece missing, so I headed over to the Brick Borrow website and I looked at their FAQs, where it explains what you should do if you find a missing piece, which is basically make a note of the piece if you can, take a picture of it, let them know, and they can send you a new piece out. As I didn't plan on keeping this set, my intention was to take it apart and send it straight back. I've just made a note of the missing piece and popped that in the box for when we send it back, which I'll talk about later on. But yeah, the missing piece didn't really affect anything, it was sort of no big deal. So here is the final sort of outside of the fish tank taking shape. And then I built all the fish. So here's the first fish, a little yellow, I don't know, goldfish? Yellowfish, goldfish, I don't know what kind of fish that is. And then there's an angelfish, which I thought was a lot of fun. They were quite fiddly to put into the tank. I did sort of knock all the fish out multiple times. Here's a little, I don't know what kind of fish this is. It's Dory from Finding Nemo. I don't know what kind of fish that is. I'm not good with fish. Fish freak me out. And then here's me popping Dory into the tank. This is about my 6th attempt. She'd fallen over and I'd knocked everything out about 10 times prior to this, and I was getting a bit cross. Here's another one of the little fish, and then this is like a little clown fish, sort of Nemo type fish, and then I popped him in too, and here is the finished tank. It's really cute. It's very colourful and actually kind of a fun build. I could think of lots of good ideas if I was going to keep this. So I finished building this set. It's a cute, fun little build. I didn't bother to build the other, it was a 3-in-1 creator set. I didn't bother to do the other builds. Didn't really like them, didn't think they were that good. Overall, it's a cute little fish tank. And actually, if this was mine and I was going to keep it, I think it would make a really cool, hey baby. I think it would make a really cool terrarium. Like you could pop little, like actual air plants in with this, and I think that would look quite fun. It was a fiddly sort of set to put together. When I was trying to put the fish in, that was a little bit fiddly and I kept knocking them over, and that was a bit annoying, but that's me, I'm clumsy and I've got massive fingers. It was a really good set. There was one piece missing. I also found a couple of pieces that were really, like a brick was cracked, and I am worried that when I take this apart they're gonna sort of completely break apart. I've made a note of those items as well. So my next job is I'm going to take all this apart, ready to send it back. Once you've signed up for Brick Borrow and you're paying your sort of subscription fee, you can keep your piece for as long as you want. You can keep it, you can play with it, you can do whatever you want with it as long as you don't break it and damage it. And then once you've had enough of it, you just send it back. It's been a day, I've had enough, I'm sending it back so we can get something else. So I'm going to completely break this apart now. Unpack it all back into the box, so I will show you that process, and then I'll show you how easy it is to send it back. Neil does have a lot of Lego and I'm looking to sell it because you absolutely wouldn't notice if I sold some of it. So if you're looking to buy Lego, get in touch. We've got some in an immaculate condition. So taking it apart, there we go. Job's a good one. Done, ready to send back. So I've taken the Lego apart. It comes with one of these brick taker apart sticky orange things, which is very handy. So it's taken apart. This is the original box it came in, and they asked you to send it back in the box it came in. So I'm going to get everything out of the box ready to go. And like I said earlier, there is a handy guide on how to return the set, so what you do to return it. So I've broken it back down like it says. I am going to place the pieces, I'm going to put the instructions back in first. I'm going to place the pieces back into the bag it came in. So there's the pieces back in the bag. Ooh. That was nearly the pieces all over the floor. I've resealed the bag. That goes back in the box. Ooh, and have you missed a piece? That goes back in the box. Like I mentioned earlier, I've made a note of the pieces that are missing or damaged. I'm going to write those down now on a piece of paper and stick that in this box with these. Okay, so I've done that. What next? So I'm going to put all of the pieces of paper that came with it back into the box so they can reuse them if they need to. So all of those are going back in. I've got my address label here. This came in the box and I'm popping that back in because it says please keep me inside the box. So that's everything back in the box. It comes with this parcel tape that you have to get wet to make it sticky to stick it back down. Take some of the old tape off that sticks a bit better. So we get this tape wet. Now I'm going to out. Yeah, okay, brilliant. Stick this down. Be a little bit patient with it because it doesn't feel like it's going to stick. You have to sort of look, give it a minute. Oh, it doesn't feel like it's sticking at all. If you're worried that it's not going to stick at all, you can like pop extra tape on. Make sure it's stuck down. I think if it was going in the post just as this box, I would stick it down more. But because it's going to go back in this bag, I think it's going to be alright. So, box goes in the bag, and the cat's just opened the bin. And I've got some tape to take the bag down. Watching me find the end of the roll is fascinating viewing. So I'm going to go to the address, the website address on here. So you head to www.royalmail.com/collect and head to that website. This is what the page looks like. I'm going to choose a book a collection. Is it doing anything? Yeah, it's doing it slow. Right, so I'm gonna arrange a collection, which is, it says it's free for all services, and then it says arrange a collection now, and then there's a couple of options here, and it says you can either buy one that you're in the process of purchasing, or one that you've either previously purchased or is being returned via the Royal Mail Tracked Return Service, which is this. So continue. Oh, yes, there's a tracking number. And then I'm going to put the tracking number on, which is on this label here. Okay, so I've popped in the collection. We're going to continue. Oh, it has selected back in size. So on here, it says it's a parcel and up to 1,000 grams. So that counts as a medium parcel. Up to 1 kilogram. Continue. You can choose the day you want it collected, so I'm going to have it collected because I am at home tomorrow. So I'm going to stick the label that came with it on the parcel now, and then basically my lovely post lady will come tomorrow and collect it, and it will go back to Brickborough. And once Brickborough have received it, they drop an email to let Neil know, and then he's free to borrow something else. So on top of the subscription charges, which I talked about earlier, you basically pay £5 for postage. So that covers the postage to you and then back to them via like tracked mail. which is a really good service. And like I said, you can either have this collected from your house like I've done, or from a business, or from where you work, whatever's convenient for you. It's free collection, or you can take it to a post office and just give it to them over the counter, and again, it's a free service. They'll just scan it in, and that's it. That's how it goes back. So all in all, I think Brick Borrow is a lot of fun. I think it's a really good way to play with some of the sets you wouldn't ordinarily buy or get to met. Like Neil says, you don't play with Lego, you build Lego, sorry. So you get to build some of the sets you wouldn't usually build. For example, we don't really have any Star Wars Lego in the house because we're not into that, but Brick Borrow would be a really good way to do some of that Star Wars Lego, or some of the Lego sets we'd never think. I mean, some of the Lego Friends sets are really cool, and that's not something I would buy, but it might be fun to make. So actually it's a good thing to borrow from this service. My cats are so destructive. Guys, what are you doing? And like I said, you can keep these sets for as long as you like. There are different subscription terms, like I explained earlier, and depending on the subscription you have depends on how many sets you can have at any one time, basically. Some of the bigger sets you have to have been subscribed to Brick Borrow for 3 months before you can borrow some of the bigger sets. And there is, on the website, you can select to be reminded or told when a set is returned so that you can then borrow that set. But yeah, that's basically it. And like I said, it's a really good way to, if you maybe haven't got a lot of space to display the Lego in your house, but you want to like play with it, or you want your kids to play with it, or you want to, I don't know, make a stop motion animation out of it. This is a really, really good way to do it. And basically you can just send them the Lego back when you're done. And as long as you're careful and you make sure all the pieces go back, there is on the frequently asked questions, there is a charge. So if you do happen to lose or break a lot of the bricks, I think it's more than 5 grams. If it goes back more than 5 grams under weight, then you will be charged for the cost of the full set plus an admin fee, which is fair enough. I mean, Neil gets cross if I lose Lego, so it is a pain. It does, like, there were a couple of pieces missing from this set, and whilst it didn't affect the set overall, it was you couldn't see it, it was at the back. If there were lots of pieces missing, that would sort of spoil the enjoyment for people. So as long as you treat it as you would treat your own stuff, it's like a Lego lending library. I think it's really good value, a lot of fun. Yeah, overall I would highly recommend Brick Borrow. This is all Neil's account, Neil's idea. Neil, he's had a couple of sets now. I wanted to play with the set I wanted to have a go at. We couldn't borrow, it was the giant Lego minifigure, and that's what I've got my eye on next. I'd love to give that one a go. And once Neil's been a member for 3 months, some of the bigger sets I'd really like to play with. Some of the modulars that we never bought look like they'd be really fun to build. We didn't have the space for them, or the space to keep them, so actually it would be really fun to build them and then they can go back. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what Neil makes next. That's it from me. Overall, like I said, it was a great fun set. It was great to build. Overall, Brick Borrow is, I think, a really, really good idea. The service is great. Once you've requested the Lego, it arrives quickly. Fantastic stuff. So that is it from me for this week. Let me know if you've ever used Brick Borrow. Let me know if you're going to go and check it out. Like I said, if you're into Lego and don't maybe have the space or the money to buy some of those really big sets, this is definitely a way to do that. So definitely worth checking out. And like I said, you keep them for as long as you want, as long as you return it at some point and pay your subscription fees. Brilliant stuff. So as always, thank you for watching. If you liked this vlog, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be back soon with another video.